Namaste. Let me share with you an interesting statistic. As per World Bank estimate, the top 20% rich people of the world consume about 76.5% of all available resources. The middle class, which is the belly, 60%, they consume about 22% of all the available resources. So you have 20% rich, 60% middle class, that makes it 80%. And you have 76.5% and about 22%, that makes it 98.5%. Bear with me for some decimals, but it's important. The poorest 20%, they consume only 1.5% of all the resources available on the planet. I think this is quite shocking, isn't it? What do the Shastras tell us? The Shastras constantly advise human beings to reduce their consumption. Mahatma Gandhi had said,
"This world has everything for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed."
Now, going back to the Shastras, they highlight that with consumption comes 5 key problems or 5 key challenges. And they are Arjan, Rakshan, Shaya, Sangha, and Himsa. 5 key challenges with consumption. So first one, Arjan. So Arjan means to acquire, to get, to obtain. So say you want to buy a BMW car. So obviously you need to work very hard, work for many years of your life, slog, right? So that you're able to save enough to buy a fancy car. So there's a lot of effort involved. And this effort, you could have put for a lot of other, maybe far more useful things, right? So there is this problem of Arjan, which is acquisition. The second challenge is Rakshan. So having acquired, you need to protect. Raksha, right? So Rakshan comes from the word Raksha. So you have this fancy car, say a BMW, and you obviously need to spend far more time and effort trying to protect that particular car compared to maybe a simple car, isn't it? Your blood pressure is bound to go up. You take a brand new BMW out there on the road and there is a scratch, right? Your BP will shoot up. Even the cost you'll incur to repair the BMW is going to be quite a bit, right? So there's a lot more effort with regard to Rakshan. So first was Arjan and second is Rakshan. The third problem is Shaya. Shaya means what? It means that anything and everything in this world, there is some bit of deterioration at all the time. So you maybe spend say 70-80 lakhs for this BMW fancy car. You go to the showroom, the keys are handed over to you, you drive home this fancy car. Next day morning, you want to sell this car. Will you get the same 80 lakhs? The answer is no. There is Shaya. Right in that one day, the value of the car has definitely gone down. Right? So, as I mentioned earlier, everything in this world, there is a constant deterioration. Even if you just keep a simple white and A4 size paper, keep it in your almirah for 10 years. What do you see after that? It will be slightly yellowish in color. Everything is deteriorating. Our body also deteriorates, right? So it's a process that continues. So there is Arjan, there is Rakshan, and then there is Shaya. The fourth one is Sangha. Sangha means association. So when we are used to something, we get used to it. And if it's not there, we have a challenge. So let's take an example. So there are two individuals, A and B. So A has the habit of sleeping, say, in an air-conditioned room every night. B has the habit of sleeping simply under a fan. And nowadays we see this quite constantly. There's climate change, there's a huge flood, and you don't have electricity for say 2 or 3 nights. Who is going to face a larger challenge, A or B? So A, who is used to sleeping in an air-conditioned room, is obviously going to be more irritated, more concerned than the person B. The person B also is going to be concerned, there's no doubt about it, but not as much as A. Why? Because there is this dukkha of Sangha. He was used to an air-conditioned room every single night. So when we consume, there's a problem first of Arjun, which is to acquire, Rakshan, which is to protect, Shaya, which is to try and not get it to deteriorate further, Sangha, which is association. Let's take another example in Sangha. So you're used to a very fancy phone, and if you lose this fancy phone, which is like say worth 50-60k, right? You are now not satisfied buying a 15k phone. You start feeling uncomfortable. Why? Because there is Sangha. The last one is Himsa. Himsa as such means violence. In a way here, violence, I would put it more simply as there is some bit of unfairness. So when we buy something, when we consume something, right, there is certainly some amount of Himsa involved in a subtle way. This is a concept that you may not get it fully right now, but if you think about it and if you get further into the Shastras, it does say that with every consumption, there is some amount of Himsa, some amount of unfairness that is there somewhere in the supply chain, right, which is something which we also need to think about and take responsibility for. So these are the 5 problems with regard to consumption. Thank you.